Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Laurie Brown, and today we're going to talk about why sometimes we just want people to fix us. Now, before I get into this video, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like and comment, because here we talk about healing from toxicity. And the reason why this is the topic of my whole entire existence on this channel is because I feel like as a person, let me take personal responsibility for this. I feel like as a person, I have managed to find unhealthy ways of coping with trauma and pain. And I feel like as a society, we kind of jump on certain bandwagons to make ourselves feel better, but we're not actually dealing with the real issues. So that's why I wanted to take a step back from that narrative and present you with some of my learnings throughout my life, so then you can understand why certain things are unhealthy, and then we can find new ways to manage and cope with things in a better way for the longevity of our lives and to have beautiful relationships with people. So that's what my channel's about. So if you're interested in healing in a healthy way, or just getting a new perspective on something, please hit that subscribe button and join the family. Cool. So today's topic, as I said, is about sometimes we just want people to fix us. And the reason why I say this is because when you are going through something in life, we can get so down upon ourselves and so vulnerable to the point where we don't even trust our own gut. We don't trust our instincts. We don't know whether we're making the right decisions or not. So what we tend to do is look to other people for help. And sometimes when we ask for help, we really want it in a grandiose type of way. We want people to change our lives around. You see it all the time on TV shows where you've got shows like Rich House, Poor House, and then they swap lives for a week, and then they come together at the end and they tell each other about their experiences. And what tends to happen is that the rich person may help the poor person with bills, or give them some money to start their business, or give them a fantastic opportunity, get them in touch with somebody, and then they'll be able to build their wealth. Wouldn't that be great if that's what every friend or every person that we knew in our life was like? And it's not that way. We have to be very, very careful about romanticizing or fantasizing about how people are going to help us. What you must know is that people will only help you to a certain point, and they're definitely not going to help you beyond what they are sacrificing for their own lives. And I know that saying it out loud, it sounds very much like, well, duh, why would they do that? But sometimes, because we are the focus of our own lives, we really believe and think that people should help us to a capacity where it helps us not only just get back on track, but makes us happy again. And that's never going to be the case. You need to be careful of people coming into your life who want to help you when you are vulnerable. And I'm not trying to say that all help is bad, but hear me out here. Because I've been in a position where I've been so vulnerable that because I'm unable to make my own decisions, or I feel like I'm incapable of making my own decisions clearly because my life is upside down, you kind of give that control and power to somebody else, especially somebody who is nurturing you. But sometimes that nurture can feel like grooming, because now that they have this power over your life, they're telling you what you can do, what you can't do. Every thought that you have in your head, you run past them, and then you want them to come up with the answer. But sometimes that's not the case, that they're going to come up with the right answer. Sometimes they don't come up with the right answer, and it's not the case. So what you need to learn to do in that moment of vulnerability is really understand the area where you need help, and stop just going to people that you know and asking for help in general, because it can be very sticky and messy. It's hard to have strength when you're feeling so weak. But what you need to learn how to do is compartmentalize what you're going through and make sure you're dealing with that problem. If anything, go to professionals for help. When I'm talking about professionals, I'm talking about therapists that are online that can help you figure out exactly what you're going through. You know, there's been times where people in seniority positions have taken advantage of people just because they can. You hear it a lot in situations, for example, where you've got the preacher now talking to somebody who is part of the church, right? And then they're telling that person who they should marry, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And of course, respectfully, there are certain rules that we need to follow in life in order to live a great life. But when it becomes too personal and too controlling, it becomes a real grey area when you don't know yourself. You only get to figure out when you have been taken advantage of when you see a pattern in that person's behavior and it becomes consistently disappointing. People can offer you promises and not deliver, and you could waste months, years of your life thinking that something is going to come through and it won't come through, and it's always to the detriment of you. It's not like this thing is just parked somewhere else and you're developing and growing this thing. You'll realize that what you thought was nurturing was now considered to be grooming, because now you're doing stuff that you know is not right or doesn't feel right or you don't want to do, or you're having to give up things that you like or love because of this person controlling you, because you feel like this person is your big break. You saw it in Baby Reindeer, you know, where he's been taken advantage of. And I love the way that story played out, because he also gave you his perspective, where you get to a point where you understand what is happening and you understand that it is now partly your choice, even though you are being manipulated. But once you have that awareness, we need to learn to be smart about how we move in that moment. We can't just let people take advantage of us all the time. And the issue, and I understand sometimes the issue with situations like that is when you've given somebody ultimate control over your life, what tends to happen is that it gets worse once they pull the rug underneath your feet, right? So for example, if you have somebody paying your household bills because you haven't got a job, and now all of a sudden you're relaxed and you think, okay, I can fully trust this person now and everything is okay because now that my basic requirements are now being met, it's all good. But what happens is that they turn it up a notch. Now they want you to do things for them for free, or now that they want you to sacrifice your time to help them with something, and you understand that if you don't do this thing, then this thing over here that you were vulnerable about is not going to be okay. And that's when the crap hits the fan. So what do? You need to look externally from your circle and look professionally from your circle. If you've got an issue with your mental health, you can go to the doctors, for instance. If you've got an issue with your finances, you can seek free financial advice online. And if you're worried about losing something, sometimes we have to understand what is my real position and where can I go from here? We need to learn how to plan our own lives out and look at our best case scenario and our worst case scenario. But as long as the control is within our hands, we should be able to make that decision for ourselves. Because let me tell you, being strong sometimes isn't about holding on to everything that you have. Sometimes being strong is about letting go of everything that you have and starting all over again. So that's what you need to recognize within yourself, is the strength within the weakness. Because sometimes we are holding on to things so tightly that it's made us end up in positions that we're in. But we have brains and we can think and we can get out of situations faster than what you actually think. It's almost like that feeling of going to the gym, right? and you know the thought of it, you don't want to do it, you can work yourself up to the point where you won't even go. But when you go there and you start your workout, your anxiety levels become so far less, that to a point where you don't even believe the fact that you weren't even going to go to the gym. And that's how much our mental state can have an effect on our reality. So when it comes to people helping us, it's not always going to be bad. But if you have your own plan, and if you know where you can go from where you're standing now, and then seek help, it allows you to have a shield of armor to now accept and reject certain behaviors from other people, and understand what is good help and what is bad help, and know that you're not going to get the rug pulled from underneath your feet because you're standing firmly on what you already know. You've clicked on this video for a reason. You know what it feels like to feel helpless and to feel like you don't know what your next step is. And I want to be that voice in your head right now to say, you do know what the next step is. Even if the next step is, I need to understand where I'm going, you start from there. And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.